Good morning, everybody. Here we are finally back at it. It's Lomentini and Barcade podcast studio is finally up and running. So here we are, Lomentini lit up, and here we are rocking and rolling for today. As soon as I am done here live, hop over to the Barcade page on Facebook, and we'll be doing some Barcade live stuff, talking about this thing behind me. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we got everything working, and you guys can all hear me. Here we are. Ready to roll. So what am I lit up about today? I'm lit up about depression and why so many people are depressed. I don't understand it really, because I'm a very outgoing person, and and people that are depressed. I mean, before I get into it, I want to let you all know that I don't obviously have the answers to it. My wife, God love her, and she suffers, and her family suffers from it, and so we've had lengthy discussions trying to understand it. And usually I'm wrong, so. So we go with it. My biggest thing was I was trying to share with her was how many of you out there know people that are on depression medication, yet they're still depressed. Isn't it supposed to fix it? Not to say that there aren't people out there with some possible chemical imbalances. That's obviously true. But it's one of those things that I still try to grapple with and understand, because I came from like the first half of my life. I like to break it up like that because, the first half I was lost and now I'm found. I was in sales. So I started out in the car business. Obviously in the automotive business or any kind of sales, you want everybody to love you, right? So I wanted everybody to like me. So if you didn't like me, I got depressed. I got really upset because your sales manager is going to let you know that you're a loser, and your other salespeople are going to know that you're a loser because you didn't get that sale. You lose a sale, so you get upset about it. So you build up this tough wall, you keep going at it, and after a while, it doesn't bother you because it's just part of the gig. But we live in a world now where social media is like the number one thing that almost determines everybody's self-value. Why do you think there's so many people out on podcasts right now? Because they want to be recognized, they want to be seen, they want to be heard. So, and all of that is coming at us so fast all day long, and that's where we put our self-worth. There's only three kinds of depression. There's the fear of loss, there's the fear of less, and then there's the fear of never having it. And did you know the common denominator in all three of those? Fear. So what does our media prey upon? It preys upon our fear. That's how they get what they want. That's how they sell their product. That's how they sell advertisement. That's how they do their things. But unfortunately, so many of us out there put our self-worth in that. Like, I'll put myself as an example. So when I wasn't selling cars, or I wasn't selling enough cars, or I didn't get that one client, that one customer, didn't sell them, there's the fear of loss. Then there's the fear that I don't have as much as the next guy next to me, fear of less. And then the fear of never being the number one sales guy, the fear of never having it. So you have all three of those just bombarding you at the same time. So it's no wonder that more people aren't depressed. But if we find our self-worth in other things other than social media, like, for example, I'm surrounded by people that, they desperately want a relationship. So their self-worth is based in that. You got to have self-worth before you can start looking for those types of things. Hey, and believe me, I'm not sitting here telling you that I haven't gone through these things, because I have. But see, I'm sitting here with the wisdom now, and it's hard to share wisdom with someone who doesn't want to hear it because they want to experience themselves. Right? So that's what I'm lit up about today. And so I'm hoping that maybe some of you guys all can chime in and let me know how you feel about depression, how you've handled it in the past, because, I found, because I was on the road for a long time promoting Barcade and doing those things and doing the haircuts and just living, on the road like a gypsy by myself. So you have all those hours to yourself. If you had a good day, you had a great day at an event, great. You felt good about it. Not a bad day. So you have several hours there to go over and over and over and over in your head, and you become totally depressed, but you fight your way through it. So I've always learned how to fight my way through the depression, not looking toward medication for it, but some people need it, because I do obviously being educated by my wife that there is an imbalance out there that people do go through, and they need it. But my problem is, or not my problem, my contention is having the right people around you. Because if you're depressed, even if you're on medication and you don't have someone to talk to, someone to listen to you, someone to hang out with you, someone that helps you push yourself to be better, someone that wants to actually elevate you above through whatever you're going through, then you're just never going to get out of it. Like I said, those 3 losses, the fear of having less, the fear of having lost, and fear of never getting it. And that's very true, because there's a lot of things that I have gone through in my years. So like I said, so that was the first half of my life where I wanted to please everybody. And if I couldn't please everybody, I was absolutely devastated, because I did everything I could to try and make them happy. And all I did was running around in a circle, I felt like a squirrel in a cage, just kept going and going and getting nowhere, because these people just don't like you. Now, in my second half of my life, I've adopted the attitude that there's 7.3 billion people out in this world, and I could care less whether or not you like me. I'll move on to the next guy that wants to be a part of my tribe and in my circle. And I've been so much happier since I've had that that attitude. And it's just been like the most, elevating. I don't even know how to describe it. It's been so good that that's it. If I see someone, or if something happens, I make a mistake or whatever. Hey man, I made a mistake. I move on. But if you don't like me because of that mistake, or whatever it is that you don't like me for, man, I'm on to the next one. So it's okay. It is okay. You don't have to be liked by everybody else, However, I think that's the key, is surrounding yourself with the right people, your tribe, your type. How do you get there? It's just a process. You just got to keep going with it, but you got to be out there, you got to be out there to meet people too, and not sit there in seclusion. I'm using my wife as another example. In the previous place that we lived, she had lived there 4 years prior to me, and she's not an introvert by any means, but she's not the one that's going to go out there and try and talk to somebody and start the conversation. So when I became on the scene and asked her do you know your neighbors? She's like, I don't know any of them. And to me, that's like, nah, so the neighbor right next door ended up being the vet for our dogs. And then, just started meeting several people around the area, and it was kind of cool, saying hi, getting to know them, and relationships, and seeing their family grow, and babies being born, and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things that we're really enjoying about where we're living now, is that kind of got her acclimated into getting out there and getting about, because, heaven forbid anything happen. You want to know who you're surrounded by and who can be there for you, or you can be there for them. So that's just one of those things. So depression is real. I'm not saying it's not. I think a lot of our surroundings can solve depression, but I understand that a lot of people have an imbalance that does need to be taken care of. So with both of those being said, I'd love to hear your guys' feedback on it. It's one of those things that I'm still learning. I mean, I have clients, I have friends, obviously I have family members that, have those issues, and, my heart goes out to them. I pray for them and just want to try and be there for them and learn from it. So I've learned an awful lot by being married to Stacy and understanding the depression. But it's one of those things that's like, hey, I'm still learning. I get it. And you keep doing it. So here we are once again at the Barcade Lomentini Studios. We will be coming to you more often, because I've got everything fixed finally. And so I'm going to dip out, come at you again early next week, and go over to the Barcade page on Facebook, because I'm going to be sharing some information about what's happening behind me here. And you guys are going to dig that. Talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.